Welcome to Weekday Somatics. Okay, let's begin today by just resting for a moment in silence. So find a posture that you can remain still in for just a few moments. Allow for the body to become quiet and allow for the mind to become quiet. And if you don't know how to do that, then just be aware of whatever happens and notice that what you are aware of is happening in your awareness, and awareness is undisturbed. Okay, so today we have a pretty special treat. We're going to do a few, I'm going to share with you a few special techniques that will help you to experience greater stillness in the mind and in the body. First, I would like to acknowledge my teachers. I invite you to take a moment to acknowledge your teachers, to recognize that we are not alone, and to give thanks for all of the support that we have. Whether we acknowledge it or not, it's here, and it's very powerful to simply acknowledge it. even if there are doubts or cynical thoughts, even if there's a resistance, just to connect to that sincere gratitude in the heart. Gratitude for being here, for the grace that has offered this opportunity presently. Of all the things that could be happening, this is what's happening. And I, for one, am grateful. So we'll explore these few techniques at I will be sitting. If you are comfortable sitting, then you may do it sitting. If you're uncomfortable or you find it strenuous to be sitting upright, then I recommend lying on the back to explore these. If you need support under the head when lying on the back, I recommend that you use a support that is somewhat firm, not hard, but somewhat firm, like a paperback book or a few paperback books stacked underneath the head is excellent option. It's firm, but not too hard. We're going to be turning the head, so it's better to have something firm rather than too cushiony, like a pillow. But with all that said, you make do with what you have and what works for you. So if a pillow is what you need or all that you have, then you may do it with a pillow. Just be extra gentle. So we're going to help to bring awareness to some points where we store a lot of dense energy. First, let's just slowly turn the head to the right, only as far as is comfortable. Don't strain in the least. And as you do this, have awareness of the shoulders and the torso, and allow the torso and the shoulders to remain restful. So the tendency will be to engage the shoulders and perhaps lower down in the torso, but we're differentiating between the turning of the head and the movement of the shoulders and the torso. So turn the head slowly to the right and then return to center. And slowly turn the head to the left as smoothly as possible. So let this be pleasurable. Open to that possibility that there's pleasure here. There's no benefit in just rushing through it or enduring it. Don't strain. Really open to the pleasure of it, the smoothness of it, the weightlessness of it. Again, to center at your own pace. So we're just going to a few more times, just at your own pace, slowly turn the head right, then center, then left, then center. So there's a lot to be aware of. Take your time. See that you can do it while allowing the breath to remain natural, gentle, and pleasurable. So notice if your tendency is to hold the breath or turn the breath around at unnatural points. Just allow the breath to be gentle, relaxed, natural, and pleasurable as you also are turning the head and letting the torso and the shoulders remain restful. And when next you come to center, then just rest here for a moment. Really allow for the head to become aligned over the spine. So the turning of the head in this way that we've just done automatically brings a great deal of awareness to how we are holding the head. But if we're not paying attention, we'll go right back into the old habits. So don't try to get the head aligned over the spine. Just allow for the alignment to occur. You've done the turning with awareness, and that awareness has produced its own energetic effects, which, if you allow it, will naturally align the head over the spine. Okay, so now we're going to, this will be optional. So let me say that from the start. If you find this to be, what I'm about to describe, to be at all strenuous, then don't do it. And instead, just repeat the previous exercise. For those who are able to do so, let's slowly turn the head to the right. Again, with the awareness of the natural breath and the letting the torso and the shoulders remain restful. Only turn as far as you can do completely comfortably, which may be a very small movement or it may be a very large movement, but just be very gentle. And then bring the right hand to the back of the left ear. So you can place the fingertips, whichever fingertips are most comfortable and convenient for you, just behind the lower portion of the ear, behind the earlobe, where the back of the ear and the head, the skull, and the jaw are all in very close quarters. And just gently feel the tissue state and notice if it's clear, if it feels supple and pleasurable, or perhaps it feels unclear or tender or numb or lumpy or hard. And with your awareness, open to the possibility of this becoming more supple, lengthened, pleasurable. See that it's actually possible, just with this gentle touch and your awareness and your intention, that you can experience a lengthening, a softening, and a release here. So in order for that to happen, you're going to need to expand your awareness to include the jaw. So let the jaw relax. The throat and the neck will also need to release. So expand your awareness to include those areas. And all the way down into the left shoulder. So let the left shoulder also soften. It also is helpful to release the cheeks and the forehead. Now, if you're able to do so, keep those fingers there and slowly turn the head a little bit back to center and then to the right. And let this tissue release even more. And repeat that several times, turning the head slowly back in the direction of center. You're not going to be able to turn it all the way because the hand will sort of bind it, but just in that direction, and then again to the right. Letting it release. So let the jaw release, let the forehead release, let the shoulder release, let the throat release, and feel how that tissue behind the ear is lengthening and softening. You may even be able to feel it all the way into the inside of the ear. You may be able to feel it all the way inside the jaw into the TMJ. One more time. And then slowly release the hand and slowly, keeping that same length and suppleness, turn the head back to center. And then let's do that to the left. Again, if this is strenuous, don't do it. Just repeat the first exercise. And if that becomes strenuous, don't do that either. Just rest. So we're going to, for those who are able to do so, we're going to turn the head slowly to the left. Only as far as is completely comfortable. And then we're going to bring the left fingers behind the right ear. And just feel what that feels like. Notice, does it feel soft or does it feel bunched up? And perhaps already, because you've cultivated this awareness on the other side, you may already notice more release just by touching and turning the head. And you can augment that by directing your intention. So have the intention to allow for this to soften and release even more. Expand your awareness to include the jaw, so the jaw can release. The tongue also can release. Forehead, the throat, the neck, and the right shoulder. So see that expanded, gently expanded awareness and the intention to soften and release will produce a greater release in the tissue under the fingers. And then we'll slowly, keeping the fingers where they are, slowly turn the head slightly back in the direction of center. It's not going to turn that far. And then again to the left. And allow for the tissue to release even more, to soften. Do that 2 more times. Slowly turning the head slightly back in the direction of center. And then to the left, keeping the fingers there behind the ear. You may find that you can turn the head further to the left with ease each time you do this. And then slowly release the hand, and then slowly turn the head back to center. So again, return to whole body awareness. Become aware of any tension or holding patterns that have crept in. Notice if the breath has become uneven or strenuous in any way, and just let everything become very gentle, soft, pleasurable. And remember, there's no prize for endurance, so don't try to push through anything. If you're experiencing any discomfort or strain or stress that you're not able to release, that becomes overwhelming or distracting, then ease up, get more support so that you are not stressing yourself. So these techniques are very powerful for de-stressing. It's natural if some stress comes up, but we want that to be something that we can allow to flow and release, and not something that we become distracted by. Okay, so the second technique is a technique for allowing the mind to become very still. So become aware of your tongue. Become aware of any strain, discomfort, or lack of clarity in the tongue. What we are going to do is allow the tongue to become deeply relaxed. So let the tongue relax. Even if your brain says, I don't know how to do that, just choose to let it relax anyway. And you will discover how to do it. As long as you persist in the inquiry, you will discover how to allow the tongue to relax even more deeply. Now, with the tongue remaining relaxed, I want you to think these words. I am here. I want you to think those words as clearly as you can, silently, and be aware of your tongue as you think those words. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a short time to continue to repeat that phrase silently to ourselves as clearly as we can, while also having awareness of the tongue and allowing the tongue to become deeply relaxed. So you may discover, well, you will certainly discover many things, some that you will become consciously aware of, and others that will remain below the conscious threshold. This is a very powerful exploration. Don't try to grasp anything, just let it happen. So we're thinking, I am here, silently, repeating that silently many times, as clearly as possible, so that we can have as clear of an awareness of that as possible, while also remaining aware of the tongue, remain aware of what happens in the tongue, the habits of the tongue, and continue to release the tongue so that the tongue becomes more and more deeply relaxed. So we'll do that together now for a short while. Now, become aware of the forehead and gently squeeze the forehead like you're squinting, and then slowly release. Release the forehead as completely as possible. And we're going to continue for a few minutes the same technique that we were just doing, while also having awareness of the forehead and the release of the forehead. So allow for the forehead to continue to release, to soften and expand. As you also have awareness of the tongue and allow the tongue to relax more and more deeply. If you are able to also silently repeat to yourself, I am here, then you may also do that. That's a lot to be aware of for many people. So if you find that challenging, then you may choose which to focus on and which to drop for now. But for those who are able, we will have our awareness of the ongoing expansion and softening of the forehead, plus the continual deepening release of the tongue and the silent repetition of I am here. If you can also be aware of the breath and allow the breath to be natural, gentle, and relaxed, that will also be very helpful. But don't be overwhelmed if there are too many things for you to be aware of at this time. Just choose those things that you can be aware of. And we will do this together for a few more minutes. Some people will naturally find that their attention is drawn more interior than the forehead. If that's the case for you, that's okay. You may allow that, that's perfectly fine. If you naturally find that the attention is drawn interior to the head, you may do so, but otherwise just allow for the attention to remain on the surface of the forehead and allowing it to continue to soften and expand. Now let's slowly expand our awareness to include the entire head, front to the back, the top, the sides, the jaw, the tongue, not only the tip of the tongue, but all of the tongue, all the way deep into the back of the mouth, down into the throat. Have awareness of the throat, the inside and the outside, back of the neck and the shoulders, the arms and hands, the chest and the upper back, the rib cage, the heart and lungs, the abdomen, all of the organs in the abdomen, the pelvis, the upper legs, the knees, the lower legs, and the feet. Be aware of the entire body. Be aware of your energetic sense, and with your awareness and your intention, allow your energetic sense to be smooth and evenly distributed so that your energy is flowing evenly through the entire body, around the body, inside the body, flowing evenly to all of the organs, all of the muscles, all of the skin, the bones, to every cell of your body. Be aware of the breath as the air comes in and out. How you are connected intimately to the space around you, to the room in which you are presently, to your neighborhood, the town or city where you live, to the state or province, the country. Become aware of the entire Earth, solar system, the galaxy. So the entire universe and beyond. Again, become aware of the breath, with each gentle inhalation. Feel yourself gently, smoothly energized. And with each natural exhalation, naturally and effortlessly allow your inner light to radiate into the world as a blessing. Slowly move your fingers, reacquaint yourself with moving in this body. Become aware of your skin, your clothing, the sensations, the sounds. Feel yourself connected to the support underneath you. Feel that contact. Remember where you are. And we're going to If we have had the eyes closed, we will slowly begin to open the eyes when we feel ready to do so. If sometimes it will happen that a person is unable to open their eyes for some time. If that happens to you, don't be distressed. It's normal. You will be able to open the eyes. Just rest and relax and enjoy the experience. For those who are able to do so and ready to do so, you may slowly begin to open the eyes and do so very gently with awareness, smoothly, so that you don't disturb anything, so that you can remain aware of this inner space, this inner light, this inner reality. The power and grace and clarity. So as we close the formal inquiry, let's again take a moment to acknowledge and give thanks to our teachers and the support that has us here. And recognize that we are never apart from that. We are always one with that. This has been a very deep inquiry, so it's really important to recognize that anything that happens today or for the next few days uh, is a continuation of the process. So some people will have a very smooth experience, and that's wonderful. Some people may experience bliss. Other people may experience some agitation. Just know that it's stress leaving the system. So if we grasp at it, then we'll possibly shove it back into the system, which isn't what we really want. So just trust and know that you are one with the support, that you are always supported. Life is your support. Life is truly good, regardless of what your mind has to say about it. no harm can come to you. If you remember that and continue to surrender in your daily experience, then you will find that this is a huge blessing, really wonderful. So just continue to allow the release and the surrender. If you find at any time that it is overwhelming to you, then first just remember that no harm can come to you. These are your experiences that have been stored in you, that were locked up, that are now being released. So the harm, as much as they could harm you, was being done all along, and this release is a great blessing. So the release won't hurt you, but sometimes we can be spooked. So it's very important to remember that it cannot hurt you. You are safe. I assure you that that is true. I have had many experiences, and I promise you, they won't hurt you, no matter what you think. In addition, take extra care to nurture yourself and be gentle with yourself. So if you have the luxury to do so and you're feeling tired or irritable or anxious at any point, just lie down for a short nap or a short rest. If you don't have that luxury, then just have your awareness on the natural breath. See how the breath is agitated when you are agitated, and surrender to the natural breath. It takes courage, because when you truly surrender completely to the natural breath with awareness, consciously, meaning your attention remains on the natural breath, you cannot simultaneously indulge your habit of fear. So it takes courage. You can do it. It's a very powerful technique. Also, uh, anybody who is, if anybody finds that they're struggling and unsure, this is an offer I'm extending to anybody who's hearing it, whether it's in the recording or not. If you need any support, you're welcome to reach out to me. You can email me, joeylott@gmail.com. Okay, so I'm going to end the recording of the formal inquiry. Thanks for joining. Bye for now.